Good morning guys, or whatever time you are watching this now, but for me it is morning. Today is my grand's birthday and she's turning 98. I know, she old. So I'm gonna make some scones, and I know everyone says this about their baking, but it's true for me. I make the best scones. I didn't create the recipe, but I'm quite possibly still the only person using it. This is a little information booklet that I got from my year 8 food technology class. Anyway, I thought maybe you'd like to join me to bake today. So our ingredients are self-raising flour, sugar, milk, I'm using semi-skimmed, marge, again I'm using light, and then we are going to be making plain scones, so that's just with the sugar. We're also going to be making fruit with raisins and cherry scones. Hair's up, we are ready to go. So each batch is going to take 250 grams of self-raising flour. Sieve your flour. Done. Wow, that was really good flour. It never goes that quickly. And then do that 3 times. So 2 more times. The first step should have been preheating the oven. Now the recipe calls for 220 degrees Celsius. I cook everything on 180 and it's fine. The next step is margarine. So I am using Clover Light. We want 40 grams of marge in each batch. Next is the messy bit, putting your hands in it and kneading away. When it gets to about this, when it looks kind of like a crumble consistency, I like to give it a shake because all your big crumbs will come to the top. You can see all the bigger ones. That's just all the marge clumping together. You don't want that. The next step is your fruit and your sugar. So I'm going to do, as I said earlier, I'm going to do 1 batch plain sugar scones, 1 batch raisin and 1 batch cherry. So the recipe calls for 75 grams raisins. My family really likes raisins, so I always double it. 150 grams of raisin, and I'll do the same for the cherries, 150 grams. The recipe also calls for 25 grams of sugar. And listen to that. I don't actually use the same amount of sugar every time, but they always come out delicious. So 25 grams. Raisins are already quite sweet, so I'll probably use 50 grams of sugar for 55 grams of sugar for the raisins. The plain one, however, because there's no fruit to make it sweeter, I'm going to put 80 grams of sugar in this. Then the one with the cherries, again, I'll put about 50 grams of sugar, but it's really just however it comes out. I'll probably cut these up into quarters, but they are so sticky, so they clump together. Anyways, they'll come out however they come out. And I can't promise when it's not going to go in my mouth. I love roasted cherries. So we've got our cherry mix, our plain sugar mix, and our raisin mix. Now it's the easy part. Just give it a quick stir to try and spread it all out. That'll do. Raisins. The raisins are the easiest one because you can really see where they've gone, but they're also not sticky, so they just disperse. And then just... So this at the moment, this is our plain scone mixture. This is just flour, marge and sugar. Scones are actually super simple to make and they're super delicious. And you can't have a proper afternoon tea without scones. Each of our batches is going to call for 125 millilitres of milk. There's our 100 mark, and at a guess I'd say that's 125. Pour that into your mixture, and then with a round bladed knife, just stir it in. So you'll start to see the flour clumping back together, which is what you want. You don't want any dry flour left. It doesn't have to look pretty to taste pretty, but it will look pretty when we're finished. And I'm just going to mix in the milk partially like this to all three of them, and then I'll get my hands dirty again. Now comes the part where you get your hands real messy. You may have to add more flour along the way, but that's fine. Baking isn't really about exact measurements. Whatever they say, it's not. You can wing it a bit. So this mixture definitely needs more flour. I'm not going to add too much at a time because you can't take it back. This looks like a really good mixture. You can hold it and you're not getting too sticky, but it's still got some moisture to it. You don't want it to be really dry. You want it to go around the bowl and pretty much pick everything up, but that's a perfect mixture to me. It all got a bit hectic here, so I didn't record the cutting process, but if you're watching a baking video, I'm sure you've probably done some sort of cookie cutting or scone cutting before. I just used a standard round cutter. This is the one that I use all the time. It's plastic, but I've had it for years. And then stuck them in the oven for 11 minutes. That will vary on your oven. I usually put them in for 8 minutes and then check them as they go. I like to make sure they're still really quite squidgy, so they almost looked uncooked when I take them out, and then they stay really nice and moist still afterwards. You can see that's still really springy and bouncy, but it's definitely cooked. And then this is our finished batch. We've got the cherry scones up this end, plain, and then our raisin fruit scones over here. So I made 10 cherry scones, 9 plain, and 9 fruit scones in the end. I hope you liked that scone recipe, and if you'd like me to do any other recipes like of my own, or to try ones that you've seen on anywhere on the internet, just let me know. I hope you're having a good day.